La Liga have strengthened Barcelona's attempt to reach the 1-1 rule. Also, John LaPorta has given us an update in regards to Hansi Flick's contract renewal. And finally, Barcelona have renewed one of their most promising players currently in the academy. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. And I'm doing a short live stream because today I had a very long day, so I didn't have time, unfortunately, to film, edit, and post. So instead, I'm doing this short live to give you all Barcelona news. This is not a podcast, so I will not be reacting to your comments live. Of course, podcast day is tomorrow on Friday. So tomorrow, we will definitely have a podcast, so make sure to check it out. Anyways, let's dive right into the news because, ladies and gentlemen, we have great news. Because La Liga have interpreted Barcelona's financial situation in a positive way. Now, as you know by now, Barcelona have not been under the 1-1 rule for, I think, the last 5, maybe 6 years. Barcelona have been trying to reach the 1-1 rule for quite some time. If you don't know what the 1-1 rule is, well, it means that for every dollar or for every euro you make, you can spend that euro in signing a player. For example, if you sell Frankie de Jong, this is just to use an example, for 100 million under the 1-1 rule, you can then use the full 100 million to sign someone else. Before, we were not under the 1-1 rule. Well, we're still not under the 1-1 rule. I should say that, for example, at one point we were under the 1-4 rule, which means if we sold Frankie for 100 million, we would only be able to use 25 million out of those 100 to sign someone else. This is, of course, a measure that Barcelona were placed under because they were in a difficult financial situation. So this is for a way to try to save the club. Instead of spending all the money you're bringing in, you can only spend a portion on signing players, and the rest you can keep either to pay your debt, save, whatever. But anyways, Barcelona have not been under the 1-1 rule for the last 5 years. They've been trying to get back under the 1-1 rule. And, well, now La Liga have interpreted the club's financial situation to be a positive one, boosting Barcelona's chances of definitely achieving the 1-1 rule come this summer. Now, for a while, Barcelona were telling us that they were 12 to 15 million euros away from achieving the 1-1 rule and that they could do it during this summer. But that's not what's actually boosted our chances. What has boosted our chances is that Barcelona have submitted some interim financial statements to La Liga that project a revenue of 1.075 billion euros this June 30th. As you know, the fiscal year will close on June 30th, and Barcelona are projecting that the club will bring in at least 1 billion euros by the end of this fiscal year. Now, where is this increase in revenue coming from? Well, a key source of that has been that Barcelona have made it to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, which has seen us earn 100 million euros from the Champions League. There's also been an increased income in sponsorship deals thanks to the efforts of John LaPorta and his board of directors in consistently signing new sponsorship deals. There's also been an increase in match day revenue because, of course, we're back at the Camp Nou, and now we're at 62,000 people capacity. And finally, the increase in merchandising. In other words, the sale of Barcelona kits and merchandise. And all this together, Barcelona have submitted it to La Liga, and they looked at it and they say, this looks really positive. If you stay on this path, there's a very good chance that you will indeed achieve the 1-1 rule come this summer. And that, of course, is going to be huge when it comes to signings. Now, another thing that will kind of affect whether Barcelona achieve the 1-1 rule or not is, of course, how much wages they free up. For example, if Lewandowski does end up leaving or if he does end up renewing but with a low salary, that's going to help a lot. There's also Christensen. If he renews with a low salary or if he ends up leaving, that will also help Barcelona's chances. But just know that we're very close to that finish line. Barcelona are very close to achieving the 1-1 rule. Now, speaking of the board, or speaking of John LaPorta, since we did mention him a few moments ago, the Barcelona president-elect, because, of course, he's not the president until July 1st, he has given an interview, where he, first of all, complained about the calendar, and second of all, he gave us an update in regards to Hansi Flick's contract renewal. Now, let's start with LaPorta's statements in regards to the FIFA calendar, because he said the following when addressing Rafinha's injury saying it's really frustrating when one of your best players gets injured in a friendly match. You can't blame the player because he's a professional, and besides, he's playing for his country and has to give it his all. It's outrageous that FIFA sets such tight schedules and doesn't take official competitions into account. So John LaPorta complaining about this, FIFA calendar, and I have to agree 100% when it comes to that calendar. As I said before, to schedule a FIFA break this late into the season is absolutely irresponsible because this is the stretch of the season where fatigue is setting in, where players are tired. They've been playing 4 competitions, they're all exhausted, and then you squeeze in international matches. Of course, there's going to be injuries, but where I don't agree with LaPorta is that he says you can't blame the player. And yes, you can, because Rafinha was feeling discomfort. He decided to play with discomfort, and there was absolutely no need to do that. It was a friendly match. I understand if this was a qualifying match where Brazil needed to win in order to qualify to the World Cup. I get it. Okay, yeah, you risk injury, but at least you make sure your country makes it to the World Cup. But no, it was a friendly match. What was the point of risking injury? Absolutely nothing. Anyways, John LaPorta also gave us an update in regards to Hansi Flick's contract renewal, and this is what the Barcelona president had to say. He prefers to analyze the situation at the end of the season and decide what to do. At the end of the season, when things have settled down, we'll talk about it. He doesn't feel the need to rush it. I think he's earned a contract extension, but he prefers to discuss it at the end of the season, assess the situation, and decide what to do. If we go for another year, he's already got it. So I think here Laporta's trying to backpedal a little bit because first reports came out saying that Hansi Flick's renewal had been sealed, that he had extended from 2027 until 2028. Then John LaPorta gave that interview where he said, the renewal is done. It's going to be announced soon. But turns out that none of that was true. Yes, the club had offered Hansi Flick a contract renewal, but then he himself in a press conference after John LaPorta's statements, he had to clarify. He said, hey, this is not the time. I got to discuss it with my family. I'm going to talk about it, think about it. Right now, I'm focused on the season. So now I think John LaPorta here trying to backpedal from his previous statements and saying, hey, Flick wants to decide in the last season. Of course, that's just the Flick way during the season. He's not thinking about renewals or extensions or anything. He's thinking about the season, how he's going to prepare for the next match, how he's going to win. Right now, that's his focus. Once the season's over, Flick will think about it, and hopefully he will renew, because even if it's one more year, Flick is an absolute blessing. Now, speaking of blessings, let's move on to the best Femení, or the best women's team in the world, because, ladies and gentlemen, today the Barça Femení completed a historical thrashing of Real Madrid, defeating Real Madrid 6-0 in the second leg of the quarterfinals of the Champions League. In case you missed it, the Barça Femení defeated Real Madrid 6-2 in the first leg of the quarterfinals of the Champions League last week, and today they beat them 6-0 in the second leg of the quarterfinals, bringing the aggregate to 12-2. No, that's not a typo. No, you did not mishear. 12-2 on aggregate. The Barcelona Femení have beat Real Madrid in the Champions League, in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and now the Barça Femení are through to the semifinals. And let's not forget, 2 or 3 days ago, Barça Femení won 3-0 against Real Madrid in El Clásico. So, in a matter of 1 week, Barça Femení win 6-2, 3-0, 6-0. We're talking about 15 goals to 2 in a matter of 1 week. They are the absolute best in the world. They have scored 15 goals against Real Madrid in a matter of 1 week. That's absolute insanity. By the way, speaking of the Barça Femení, as you know, last weekend I went and saw a match, Barça Femení versus Athletic Club Bilbao. The video is up on the channel, so if you want to experience that or share that experience with me about my visit to the Stade Johan Cruyff and watching the Barça Femení, the video is on the channel. Now, let's end today's video with great news, because, ladies and gentlemen, Barcelona have extended the contract of a key winger in the academy, who's no other than Shane Kluivert, the son of the Barca legend Patrick Kluivert. If you don't know about Shane, he's 18 years old. He is a versatile attacker, someone that can play either as a center forward or even out on the wings, both right and left. He is known for his ability to understand movement and space, an ability that's way beyond his age. And given his versatility, of course, it's made him, a hot commodity in today's market. He's had a lot of offers from many other clubs, but instead he has decided to renew his contract with Barcelona until 2028, where by then he would have been at the club for 11 seasons. Now, Shane Clover right now is a starter with the Juvenil A, or the under 19 team, where he has already scored 3 goals in the Youth Champions League. And he has also featured with Barça Athletic, where he has scored 2 goals and provided 3 assists. An incredibly promising winger currently in the academy. And of course, he's staying with Barcelona for 2 more seasons, and we'll see whether one day we might be able to see him with the first team. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. I'm going live in a few more moments, so stay tuned to the channel. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, Visca Barça.